Love to welcome everybody back to the Independent Investor Channel. What a week it has been. Went on a little bit of a break here on my coverage of Aduro. And I think it speaks to my insistence for myself and for investors out there that patience is going to be the key here in understanding that we're not going to get a blast of information every single day on Aduro. They are busy behind the scenes working toward commercialization. And that is the key focus for Aduro. And that absolutely should be the eyes on the horizon perspective that we take as an investor when we're looking at what opportunity we are building now as a foundation for the future. And so I will continue to express my philosophy, psychology about how to own this stock and how to look at it long term. I know there's people that are going to be in and out of the stock based on, the ability to make money in the short term. But I think that the longest money that is going to be made and the most money that's going to be made with this company are those that see and buy into and invest in that long-term vision. I want to congratulate my friends at Aduro Clean Technologies. They closed the Nasdaq markets last Friday. What a monumental milestone for the entire Aduro team. For those of you who have been following the story for quite some time, know that, yes, it has been a public traded company now for about 4 years, but this project is significantly much more long-standing than its public trading life. It goes back well over 10 years in the development and the trial and error in bringing this technology to where we are today on the precipice of commercialization. And so a heartfelt congratulations to my friends at Aduro, well earned on that monumental achievement in closing NASDAQ markets. Very, very exciting times. I want to bring your attention to the latest fireside chat that was released via webcast. I will leave a link in the description to that webcast for anybody who catches this video. It is absolutely key in understanding where Aduro is now and where they are going. It is an absolute must. Anybody who catches this content is going to understand that information is key, and in many cases, information can be valuable in solidifying your investment thesis on this particular company. And so if you're a follower of this story, I will leave the link to the webcast. For me, some of the key takeaways was an explanation on what appears to be some immaterial revenues on the last earnings report that Aduro has come out with. Mina Bechet did a fantastic job. Mina is the company's CFO in explaining to investors that there is more going on right now in the path to commercialization, and that the value that Aduro is receiving is not necessarily reflected on the top line now with the revenue that is being garnered through the customer engagement program. Rather, the value in material and expertise and the exchange of knowledge that's going on right now through the customer engagement program that in fact is going to leverage itself very profitable once this commercialization page is turned and Aduro can focus those efforts on maximizing the lessons learned and emboldening that top line. But until then, it's not a point of emphasis. It is not important right now. And so for investors that are just looking at the black and white in the financial statements, you are going to be misinformed in not understanding what is below the surface and the value that is day to day being turned back to Aduro, as well as being solidified on the customer side of it. Very good explanation about establishing the goals for 2025. As usual, Ofer Vicus has set the roadmap going forward. in 2025 for expanding again the patent portfolio, as well as expanding their current customer engagement program. We'll look for any future onboarding of any announcements of anybody coming in any of the phases of their customer engagement plan, specifically that collaborator stage, and then ultimately that commercialization phase that we're all eagerly awaiting and patiently awaiting for them to announce. It is worth noting that Eric Appelman had, of course, his normal incredible insights on the progress, giving a lot more color on what these engagements mean. The confidentiality around these agreements is very, very important for investors to understand. I understand by nature of some of the questions during the Q&A that were asked about progress on Game Changer program, progress with Total Energy. Those things, my friends, will come in time, but you have to understand, and Ofer and Eric have been very, very steadfast on this point in understanding that patience is going to be the key. These big oil producers, they do not make decisions in a vacuum, and they do not make hasty decisions. It's going to be imperative that these companies are allowed the time to thoroughly vet this opportunity with Aduro. And like Ofer said, the time that has been spent in this evaluation should speak to the interest that exists with the technology and to continue to further those relationships going forward. And so I just want to bring you guys to that webcast and make sure that you understand how important that is in reviewing that content and allowing it to embolden your bullish thesis. I know it did for me. The last and final thing that I will say is on the 23rd, the pilot plant design status update was released. What a fantastic milestone. I do want to jump into the press release just a little bit and highlight some of the things that I took as a monumental milestone. There have been many with the company, but for me, early on in 2025, to have this status update and a forecast of Q3 2025 only sets a goalpost and a goal for Aduro to meet. And what an exciting time for watching this company move at lightning speed toward an inevitable commercialization. So let's jump in and review the press release that was just released. On January 23rd of this year, Aduro released a status update on their pilot plant design and their collaboration with Ceton. I cannot stress how important this is. I will leave a link to this entire press release in the description and the comment section below, because I think it's very important for anybody that is following this story to read this press release in its entirety. I've highlighted the excerpt on what I think will convey to the followers of this story how monumental this is. Remember, my friends, we have the luxury of time on our hands. But when these initiatives toward the end of or the beginning of the third quarter of this year start to materialize, this story is going to start to accelerate beyond anything that I can keep up with. So while we are in the beginning stages of this path to commercialization, this marking a significant step toward that end, I just want to convey to would-be followers of the story and continued followers of the story to truly understand that we are in a calm before the storm. Before this really starts to accelerate. What does that mean for investors? It means that you can calmly follow the story, research their path toward commercialization, and you are being provided an opportunity to get involved with this prior to the storm that I speak about. And as rare of an opportunity as that is, I do not want to underscore the importance of understanding how monumental these updates are in giving investors a bit of insight on the path toward an inevitable commercialization. And I use the word inevitable, my friends, because this is going to happen. So I will leave links to this. I encourage you to read them in their entirety. I just want to cover some of the highlights and give you my thoughts on what this could mean here going into the back half of 2025. So this milestone marks a pivotal step in Aduro's journey to commercialize its hydroclimate platform technology, with the next generation pilot plant on track for completion in the third quarter of this year. The completion of the basic engineering design represents the culmination of many years of extensive research and development. Aduro has partnered with Zeton, a global leader in modular pilot and demonstration scale plant design. Together, the two organizations are working diligently to advance the project toward installation and commissioning. I believe that those two things are inevitable. I think that patience is in order at this particular juncture, and I happily await any updates toward those ends and will convey those to the grander independent investor audience. The project has now entered the detailed design phase, where Aduro is leveraging Zeton's proven expertise in pilot plant engineering with a specific emphasis on modularity and scalability. I cannot emphasize how important those points are. Aduro, just as of late, I've become more and more bullish on this story, and it has everything to do with Aduro's approach. A stepped-in, phased-in approach to commercialization, which gives them the opportunity to build to scale for customers what they need on the onset, and also allow them to build out what they may potentially need in the future. I cannot stress how important this is. I hope that would-be followers of the story and potential investors to the story also understand how impactful this could be to Aduro, de-risking this opportunity now in understanding that they're not building multi-million-dollar plants and hoping that somebody will come and be buying this product. They can take the solution to their customers, they can custom build it for their customers, and they can build out as future demand grows with their customers. So I encourage you to come check out this latest news release from Aduro. Again, I'll leave links in the description below. So we've come out of the press release with Aduro. What a firestorm of information that has been released over the week. I have pledged to offer my delivery on the Independent Investor channel when those updates are made available to me and no more. This is a story that I take very, very seriously in covering. When there is no news, I will not report. When there is news, I will report. I have stated many, many times that I believe 2025 to be a bridging year to commercialization. So don't expect news releases every other day, lighting your hair on fire. That is not what's going to happen. If it does, so be it. But part of my job is to get you excited about the story now, yes, but also curb your expectations in understanding, are we on the opportunity of a lifetime? Yes. Are we sitting on a total addressable market of $130 billion in the plastic recycling space and the other verticals as well, which it quite frankly is part of the 2025 goals that often takes a back seat to the plastic recycling initiative right now. But I'm eagerly awaiting progress toward bitumen upgrading. And that also was snuck into the 2025 initiatives. Guys, my friends, it is very, very exciting right now, but we have to check our expectations and make sure that we are enjoying the ride. The appreciation in the stock absolutely proves that we are on the right track, but I contend that we are in the very, very beginning stages of this story. We are looking at an Aduro share float right now that sits at around 30 million. Insiders own 40% of those companies, which leaves about 16 or 17 million shares in the share float to be traded actively amongst share owners. Volume is just a less than 100,000 shares per session on the Nasdaq. So I do contend that this story is still somewhat of an undiscovered story, only to be amplified upon with the new listing to the Nasdaq and that notoriety that Mina talked about on the fireside chat about how important that is for global exposure now being on the NASDAQ. It's only been a couple of months removed of that uplisting, my friends. So the question is, how is it going to materialize with that notoriety and that visibility that is there now, coupled with Aduro's continued updates on their path toward commercialization? My friends, we are stepping toward an inevitable perfect storm on this. I will calmly continue to report out on this as carefully and responsibly as I can. I'm honored and humbled at the opportunity to be partnered with Aduro in offering this content to you guys and reaching as many people on the grand audience that we possibly can, because I contend if you are making your way to this message and you are provided access to the press releases and the direct offerings from upper management from Aduro Clean Technology, my friends, you are opening the door to an opportunity that I contend is probably one of the best opportunities that I have seen in my lifetime for a company that is foundationally building something very, very special for the future. Guys, if you enjoy the content, I'd invite you to subscribe to the Independent Investor channel. Cost you nothing. For updates like this that could prove invaluable into the future, leave your comments at the bottom of the video. Check out the links that I provide to you. It is on you, and it is incumbent upon you to do your own due diligence. And I would also invite you to check the disclaimers at the bottom. I am brought on to the Aduro team to provide updates like this. I am compensated for my efforts to convey information to a would-be audience out there that is both covering the story and invested in it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the entire video, and good luck in your investment future.